You're welcome to another episode of Safety Timeout with Madam Safety. And in this episode, I'll be speaking on safety tips for school resumption for school owners and school administrators. Part 2, safety tips for school owners and school administrators post-COVID-19. Part 2. In my part 1, I spoke on a few things. I gave a few tips. I talked about how school management should come up with a policy on how they intend to stop the spread of COVID-19, particular to their school. I talked about how this policy has to be realistic, how it has to be measurable, and how it has to be achievable. I talked about how they should hold several meetings to ensure they give ownership of these ideas to everyone, to the teachers, to the teachers, particular to the non-academic staff, every employee, and ensure full compliance by communicating adequately, even if it means communicating in languages that they would understand for those that do not properly understand English. So we need to ensure everyone is in the picture for total compliance. I talked about how they need to ensure adequate supply of water and then ensure hand washing facilities are put in place to ensure that one of the measures for the prevention of COVID-19 that has to do with regular hand washing is adequately covered. I talked about how they need to do thorough and detailed disinfecting of every aspect of the school facility, the lab, everywhere, the doorknobs, everywhere. Do a total and detailed disinfecting, not just going to just spray something and walk away. Do a total and detailed disinfecting. Now, let me give us a few other tips in addition to all of that on how to ensure that as school owners and school administrators, we keep our children safe and we take safety seriously. Now, this is not a time to throw safety under the carpet. This is not a time to flush safety down the toilet. This is a time to take safety seriously and ensure we comply. Now, tip number 1, there is a dear need to invest in safety equipment. There is a dear and urgent need to invest in safety equipment. Now, talking about safety equipment, talk about regular temperature checking devices. We need to ensure that we check this temperature so it gives us a head up when it has to do with red flags for COVID-19. Now, we also there's also need to ensure that if possible, get technical tools to ensure everyone logs in and out on a daily basis. Everyone logs in and out, not just for the students, for the teachers. Anytime you get a visitor, everyone logs in and out. For cases where you have to do contact tracing, it becomes very important. And now, knowing that students can be very funny, can be smart, then there is need to get technical tools to ensure that this is done thoroughly. And then you need to also ensure that this is, technical tools are used because a lot of people, students, especially children, talking about contact, talking about touching biros and all of that could be totally ruled out. So technical tools, very essential, and all of that sometimes would cost money. So another thing we need to be looking at is getting the CCTV. Now, CCTV, if you don't own one already in your school, there may just be a need to ensure you install one. Now, we know children, like I said, could be smart. Children could be intelligent. And then, want to play a smart one, come in and go in without logging in and all of that. So, but if you have any need to do a contact tracing, you just go back to your CCTV to ensure, this person was here, wasn't here, this teacher was here today and wasn't here, and all of that. So these are some of the safety equipment you need to get, and there's need to invest in them to ensure the safety of your students, to ensure the safety of your teachers, because you have a duty of care to ensure their safety while under your care. Now, there may be need to begin to look out for funding, and then if the government could help, that would be very good, but you need to start looking out for funding as a school owner or as a school administrator. Advise your school owner to start looking out for funding. That's tip number 1. So tip number 2, you need to have an established procedure for reporting of suspected cases. established procedure, and then this established procedure is well communicated to everyone. Established procedure and properly communicated to anyone when there is a suspected case of COVID-19. So everyone knows what to do when there's a suspected case, not that everybody begins to talk about it and all of that. Everybody knows what to do, who to speak to, who to meet, who to walk to, and all of that. Established procedure for reporting any suspected case of COVID-19, and then this established procedure are well communicated to everyone, and then if possible get posters for constant reminders around the school. That's tip number 2. Now, tip number 3, you need to make arrangements to boost the mental health of your students and then, if possible, of your teachers. COVID-19 has affected a lot of people psychologically and mentally, and you need to look at how you need to boost and get mental health support for them. Identify how you're going to go about this, get established plans and all of that, because it is going to come in very handy, not just for students, but also for teachers. How to give mental health support is going to be coming very, very handy at a time like this. That's tip number 3. Tip number 4, you need to identify a space that would be your temporary isolation center, temporary isolation space, isolation room, temporary isolation room. Like I said, a space identified. If possible, get this. It could be a classroom, it could just be an office, a space that you could say, okay, this is our temporary isolation space in the school, and then get it as comfortable a bit as possible, because it is not a death sentence. So get it as comfortable as a bit as possible, and then identify it and get everyone involved, everyone stays clear, and then this place is your temporary isolation space or room in your school. Thank you for listening, and then watch out for part 3. And as we all prepare, don't forget that it's your core responsibility. You have a duty of care as a school owner to ensure the safety of not just your students, but of your teachers and everyone under your employment. Thank you so much. God bless you.